Everyone, welcome to Recovery Education, brought to you by Promise Resource Network. Let's see. Today's class is one of my favorites. It's called Cover Your A's. It's the 4 A's of stress management. But before we get to that, I want to give you some information. We have a warm line that is 24/7, confidential, staffed by people who are really good at listening, who are really good at finding resources. So if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you just need to talk, call us. If you need resources, call us. If you need to vent, call us. If you just call us. I ran out of things but give us a call. Like I said, good people who are good listeners are manning the phone. So call us. We'll be there. The other number I want us to have is the front desk number. The front desk is manned by Kim. Those of you that remember us from 1041 Hawthorne know Kim from the receptionist desk. She was the first person that greeted people to Promise Resource Network, and she does such a fabulous job. Well, you can still talk to her. You can still find out about the services we have. You can find out if she can connect you with a specific peer support specialist if you need to talk to someone specific. And she can just help. She's an awesome lady. And the number to that is 704-390-7709. So if you need something, call Kim. Call Kim. All right. Let me get that off there. So today, cover your A's. Cover your A's. So the 4 A's of stress management. What we're going to do is talk about stress. Talk about stress. We've all got stress, and this past year has been extremely stressful. So stress is a constraining force or influence. It's a physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. A physical, mental, or emotional factor that causes bodily or mental tension and may be a factor in disease causation. Definitely with the tension, right? I don't know about you all, but when I get stressed, I feel it right here. That's my first clue that something's going on with me when I have pain in my shoulders. So that physical element is real. That mental tension, that emotional tension, being all the time, right? Being in the middle of a festive event, right? That gives us mental or emotional tension. So, a factor in disease causation. I had no idea. I knew, just because that stress probably causes, difficulty in sleeping or anxiety or difficulty, eating too much, not eating, all those things that are the result of tension, of stress. What I didn't realize is the intensity that stress can affect our bodies. Stress can cause cancer. It can cause diabetes. It can cause high blood pressure. We knew that. Heart disease. Stress is very, very influential on our bodies. And when we stay in stress, it changes us. It shifts us. Let's say it's not too hard to believe, I ate a pound cake the whole pound cake every day for a month. Every day, 30 days, I ate a pound cake. 30-pound cakes in me, right? First of all, I'd probably be a lot bigger. But second of all, having done that over and over and over again, it's affecting my body. To bring that much sugar into me would affect my body. So that's the way stress is. When we're under constant stress, it changes us. It affects us. It has serious consequences if we don't release it, right? If we don't release it. So stress is a killer. Stress is a killer. All right. So let me get on chat here because I don't want to miss anybody today. I'm so bad about waiting till the last minute to get to chat. Hey, Roberta. All right. Tanisha, good morning. Oh, Allison, yay. Okay, here's your question. What are some sources of stress? For you ladies that are in the chat room, what are some sources of stress? Some things that when you encounter them, they begin to affect you. I'm going to give them a minute. I'm going to talk about what I've got down. So, thoughts, feelings, or behaviors that cause stress in our lives. Worry. Worry can be a great stress inducer, right? When I worry about the future, it causes me stress because I don't know what the future is. I know the future could be this way or this way or this way, but I don't know which way, and that could cause me stress because I don't know what the future holds, right? For those of us with control issues, that's a problem. That causes stress in us, right? So, financially struggling, yes, causes worry. Job loss, economic distress, housing loss, all these things, absolutely. Got one more. Lack of people who understand us and make us feel bad about our health condition. Those cause significant stress. All those things. A loss causes us stress. Whether that's a person, a thing, a job, a home, whatever it is, loss can cause us significant stress, right? Another thing I'm guilty of, procrastination. Procrastination is a foe of mine. Procrastination is when I say to myself, I can do it tomorrow. No problem. I got plenty of time tomorrow. And it never works out. It never works out. When I procrastinate, I get behind the 8 ball. I get under pressure. I pressure myself, right, into doing and acting ways that don't benefit me. Procrastination, when I wait to the very last minute to do something, I always say to myself, well, I'm good under pressure. Nah, I'm not good under pressure. The stress makes it hard for me to think. The stress makes it hard for me to do, right? Allison, having stress and going to the wrong people for help. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those of us that don't understand, right? 2 reasons people won't help us: either they don't know how or we've burned that bridge. A lot of us don't know how to help. So we've got to help people learn about us so they can learn how to help us. Limited boundaries is another thing that can cause stress. When I am not speaking my truth, when I am not standing on my own 2 feet, when I do not put a space between me and someone else for my protection, that's my limiting my boundaries, right? My not saying no when I need to say no. is a big thing, right? Negative perspectives, having that negative frame of mind always takes me to a place that I don't want to go. That negative perseveration we go over and over and over again in our minds. This could happen, that worry, that stress from procrastination. What's going to happen? I don't know. So it causes tension. It causes that stress in our bodies and in our minds. I got a quote for you. I love this because it is so meaningful to me. Until you accept responsibility for the role you play in creating and maintaining it, our stress level will remain outside of our control. Until we accept responsibility for the role we play in creating and maintaining it, our stress level will remain outside of our control. Responsibility, right? Some of this I bring on myself. When I take responsibility for my stress, I'm more likely to reduce it. When I create stress, right? That procrastination, that worry, and then maintaining it, just pushing and going over and over and over these things in our minds, right? I want to take responsibility today. I want to take responsibility because I'm tired of being stressed out. And it says our stress level will remain outside of our control. I have control issues. A lot of people do. But when I am out of control, it causes me stress. And when I put myself in a position that I know I'm going to be stressed out in, that's on me. That's on me. All right. So what are some unhealthy ways of dealing with stress? Let's see, Tanisha, I take control over my life to know the boundaries. I need to not share my truth with the wrong people who use it against me. Absolutely. I think people cause more stress than anything else because they're people and they're everywhere. So when we take that responsibility, we're going to talk about some things we can do here in a minute. We're going to talk about the 4 A's. When we take responsibility for our stress, for our actions, for our thoughts, then we can shift. Then we can get more in control of bringing that stress onto me. Okay? All right, so what are some unhealthy ways of dealing with stress? For me, alcohol was a big stress reliever. It was my coping skill. It was what I went to when I was stressed out. It was not the best coping skill. It did calm me down usually. Sometimes it got me wired up though, but it did calm me down usually. So I use that as a coping skill. I use that as a way to help me feel better. But it wouldn't last is the problem. It was a coping skill whose consequences were too severe for me. So, but that was one unhealthy way I dealt with stress. Smoking cigarettes still. I started smoking again, unfortunately. I fell back on a old coping mechanism, an old coping tool that doesn't help me. The consequences to that are significant in regard to my lungs and my health. So what are some other unhealthy ways? Hey, Sam. Escaping, Allison said. My unhealthy coping skill is isolation. Absolutely. Cutting ourselves off can really become unhealthy for us. We have our coping skills. If we weren't taught how to use coping skills, if we weren't taught how to deal with anger, sadness, fear. If we didn't get that book on how to deal with life, a lot of times we fall into the first thing we can grab as a coping skill. The easiest thing for me to grab was alcohol, right? So I went from alcohol to cigarettes because cigarettes weren't as severe. I've never been pulled over for smoking a cigarette in a car, right? So smoking was less severe than drinking at that point. And after that, I learned different kinds of coping skills. I learned ways that I can deal with life in a better way. Uh-oh, we're frozen. Ignoring the problem makes bigger problems for me. Yes, Sam, I feel you. I can understand that. And then I worry about it. I ignore it to the point that it gets out of control. And then I just think about it all the time. I can't believe this is out of control. All those things, right? So these are some unhealthy ways that we deal with stress. So now we're going to talk about the 4 A's of stress management. First thing, we want to change the situation. That's our outer space. That's our outer space to change that situation. That is avoid the stressor and alter the stressor. So those are the first 2 A's. Under outside things, we can avoid it or alter that stressor. Okay. For internally, change our reaction is adapt to the stressor or accept the stressor, right? Good deal. Let me read. Let me get to Tanisha. I know that I need to find safe haven to get the help I need and find the right tools for wellness. Absolutely. Many people don't know how to help or honor me because they don't have my lived experience. I share my truth with the warm line every day, and I hope I got the right call or support system. Until then, I show up to each video I can see. We grab a hold of those better things. Right? We grab a hold of those better coping skills. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk about the first strategy. The first, cover your A's. Okay, I can say the A's are avoid, alter, adapt, or accept. Right? So the first is avoid. We talked about boundaries. Learning to say no is a major gift, is a major skill. When I learned to say no, my life opened up. I was able to, when my no is no, and you know my no is no, that means my yes is yes. You never have to doubt when I say, yeah, I'll do that. For me to say, man, I really don't want to do that, but I'm kind of in a spot. I guess I'll do it. My yes means yes. When I say yes, I want to do it. When I say no, it's not acceptable. Those things are not acceptable. They don't benefit me. So no is a powerful word. It's a complete sentence. No. The next one is avoid people who stress you out. Avoid people who stress you out. Remember, this is avoid. Uncle Larry at Thanksgiving, right? Uncle Larry at Thanksgiving. If you're going to sit beside Uncle Larry and you know how Larry stresses you out, find a different seat, right? We can do things that can influence our stress. If I know I'm going to come up against somebody that stresses me out, I prepare. I avoid them as much as I can, but I've got to have a plan of action. I've got to have a plan of action. Oh, yes, Tanisha, I can repeat them. Change the situation. The external is avoid and alter. Internal, adapt and accept. So another thing for avoid is take control of our environment. I do have some control in my world. If I'm driving down Independence Boulevard and the traffic's so bad and people cut you off and I just get really stressed out when I'm on that road, what can I do? I can take a different road, right? I can go up Monroe Road, stay off of Independence, that 4-lane monster, right? I can find another way. If the news stresses me out, I can watch Little House on the Prairie or Andy Griffith. I can change the channel to something that helps me, that doesn't hurt me. So taking control of our environment can be very effective. Avoid hot button topics, usually religion and politics, right? Uncle Larry has those views that are exact opposite of yours, and you've got to sit beside him at Thanksgiving. You can't get away from him. And he starts. Leave, avoid, get out, take care of yourself, right? Say no in a way he can hear. Change the subject, whatever we have to do to stay away from those topics that stress me out, that cause me tension, especially if they are different. If I'm dealing with somebody that's very different from me, right? It can cause severe tension. Pare down our to-do list is another one. I have to-do lists every day, and I used to put like everything I had to do that day, like 27 things, right? But it was cool because I could mark them off, but there were so many left. What I have to do today is prioritize. I've got to figure out what 5 things I must do today. And if I've got time, when I've got time, I work down that list. But if I have 5 things, it's not as overwhelming to me as 27, right? So when we pare down that to-do list, we are allowing ourselves some grace, Strategy number 2, alter the situation. One way to do that, one way to alter it, one way to shift it, to change it, is to express our feelings. Say what's going on with us. Tell the people, like Tanisha says, find your people and share your truth with them. Express what's going on. Are you angry? Are you afraid? What is causing you stress? What is causing me stress? Right? I need to have my people so that I can express myself, so I can say what I need to say to get it out of me. Be more assertive is another way we can alter the situation. There are 4 kinds of communication in general. There's aggressive. There's passive. Whatever you want is fine. There's passive aggressive. Whatever you want is fine. And then I key your car. And there is assertive. And assertive is what I need. I want to, like Tanisha said, speak my truth. I want to be able to stand up for myself. I want to be assertive in saying what I need and how I need it. I don't know any psychics that can read my mind so that they know what I need. When I'm assertive, I get to speak my needs. I get to talk about what benefits me. I get to move towards that with other people. So assertiveness means that I respect me and I respect you too, right? Manage our time better, that procrastination. If I'm late to work every morning, I'm stressed, right? I can change that. I can shift that. When I manage my time better, I am more able to be calm because I know how much time I have for this, and I've planned this in. When I make a plan for how I'm going to use my time, it definitely helps me. All right, so that's the external. Avoid and alter. Avoid and alter. All right, strategy number 3. Adapt to the stressor. This is the internal stuff. This is our coming to understand this stressor better, right? So we adapt to it. First thing we can do is reframe the problem. My thoughts to my emotions to my behavior. When I shift my thoughts into a more positive, more beneficial frame of mind, I'm going to do better. I'm going to be calmer, right? Sam says, I feel control when I approach things assertively. Absolutely. Absolutely. So reframe the problem. If we don't have all the information in the situation, what does it hurt to come from the positive aspect, right? I'm driving down Independence Boulevard. You already know I hate it. Some guy cuts in front of me. I get pissed. I can't believe it. I don't have all the information. I don't know what that guy's doing, right? I can shift in my mind to say, maybe he's taking his wife to the hospital because she's going to have a baby. Maybe he's the doctor who's going to deliver the baby. Maybe they're late for work, and if they're late one more time, they'll get fired. I don't have all the information, but if I can give someone the benefit of the doubt, it helps me. It helps me so much. I want to look at the big picture too. In the grand scheme of things, how important is this for my future? For a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now? How important is that? My friend John won't give me a cigarette. I get mad. Am I going to hold on to that? Do I need to look at the big picture? Well, John, is very helpful in other ways to me. He's really, really a great guy to me. Also, do I want to hold on to not getting a cigarette for a week and have that stressor on me? When I look at the big picture, it puts things in perspective for me. It helps me keep things the size it needs to be. Mountains to molehills, molehills to mountains. Absolutely. Adjust our expectations is another one. When a lot of times we tend to have high expectations. In some of the literature I read, it says, when my expectations are high, my serenity is low. And if I can just adjust those expectations, adapt to them, be able to shift, I'm much more happy. I'm much more content when my expectations are lowered. I'm not saying be a doormat. Ever, 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 ever be a doormat. No. What I mean is give someone a break. Give someone a break. If our expectations are too high on somebody else and they fail us because of that, that's on us. That's on us. So keep those expectations in check. And the last one is for adapt is focus on the positive. Now I can adapt to this. I can choose to be positive today. I can choose to look at the bright side of a situation, right? When I'm positive, it makes such a difference. It is the difference between night and day when I'm dealing with stress. To be in a positive frame of mind helps me keep things in perspective, helps me maintain my physical, mental, emotional calm, right? So that the next strategy is accept the things that we cannot change. That's a tough one. Acceptance can be difficult, right? It can be difficult to let go of expectations. of someone, especially ourselves. So to accept things we cannot change. Don't try to control the uncontrollable. Don't I got to remember that because like I said, I got control issues and I can get myself in a little tizzy because I'm trying to control something that I simply don't have the power to, right? I simply don't have the power to. Let's see. Allison says, when I see people do things I don't get, I try to say, well, they most likely have a reason. I'm just not aware of it. Nice. That is perfect. I like that. They must have a reason for doing that. I like that a lot. Okay, don't try to control the uncontrollable. I can't grab a hold of something. I can't change the weather. I can't change the weather. I've got to accept that. I can't change other people. I've got to accept that too. Because remember, other people tend to stress us out. But I can't control someone else. I can influence them, but I can't control them. What is it? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's our job to make him thirsty, right? There you go. So don't try to control the uncontrollable. Tanisha says, I can only control myself and how I react to the other person, place, or thing. You are exactly right. You are exactly right. When I'm able to shift my thoughts, my emotions change. And when my emotions change, my behavior changes, my action changes. So when I accept that there are things in this world that I simply have no power over, it helps. It helps me. Look for the upside. That's acceptance. Share our feelings we talked about before. This is a tough one. Learn to forgive as a part of acceptance. We learn to forgive as we progress in our recovery. Simply because, for me, I don't want that person taking up room in my brain. If I'm able to let something go, to accept something that I have difficulty with, if I can forgive someone, it releases me. It releases me from the bondage, right? Of that person being in my head all the time. I can't believe they should have, how could they? All that stuff that goes around and around in my head, right? When I learn to forgive someone, it releases me from the situation, right? So to learn to forgive. I've always heard that if you pray, to pray for the person for 30 days. Pray for the person for 30 days. Ask for health, wealth, and happiness. That's what I always do. If somebody's really jerking my nerves, I'll pray every morning for health, wealth, and happiness, right? That's what I want. That's what I assume everybody wants. It changes us. It doesn't change the other person when we pray for them. It changes us and our expectations. So we got to take it back our control. We got to be able to take our power for things that we have power over, right? I can choose my my coping skills based on the consequences. I don't drink anymore, right? I don't drink. That coping skill is gone. I don't use it anymore. I've moved on to other things that had less consequences. So when we take back our power, we are taking back our coping skills. We're taking back the tools we use to bring our stress level down, right? Healthy ways to deal with stress. Set aside relaxation time is a good one. Set aside some time for you, for me, to just do what it is that I need to do. Sometimes I need, Tanisha talked about isolation. Sometimes I need solitude. Sometimes I just need to be by myself and think through something. Sometimes I need to relax. Just take some time, right? So set aside relaxation time is a healthy way to deal with stress. Connecting with others, having a strong support network is critical for me. Remember we talked about expressing our feelings and being around safe people, all that stuff. We want to connect to other people because that allows us, first of all, to get out of us what's bugging us, to vent, to talk about whatever you want to call it. And when we connect with others, we're able to do that. When I can trust someone as much as I can trust them, right, I'm able to speak to them in a way that helps. Brianna, boundaries empower us and connect us in a more authentic way. Oh, I like that. Not easy at first, but it gets easier in time. Every day is a practice to show up for ourselves again. Powerful class. Thank you. Reclaim your choice and voice. The path to recovery takes heart, compassion, and grace with ourselves through the journey. You are exactly right, Brianna. But we do have power, don't we? It is about choice today. It is about having heart, compassion, and grace for ourselves, right? Good stuff. Okay, do something you enjoy every day is a healthy way to deal with stress. Go for a bike ride, read a book, watch a specific television show. Whatever it does, whatever that thing is that you enjoy, swing it on a swing, whatever it is, do it. It helps reduce the stress. Do one thing every day that you really like to do, and it will take away some of the tension. Keep your sense of humor. I poke fun at the things that come against me because I think it takes the power away. Keeping our sense of humor, poke at what's trying to overcome you. Make fun of it. That's what I do. Oh, Tanisha, I like to play with bubbles and practice my deep breathing. Good deal. All these good, healthy ways to deal with stress. Thank you. Roberta, me too. Absolutely. I love bubbles. They're so soothing, aren't they? So we want healthy ways to deal with stress. I want to figure out what works for me that is beneficial for me. What works for me that has the least amount of consequences and the most benefit in reducing my stress. Healthy lifestyle. I want to talk about this real quick because I don't know crap about it. This is hypocrisy. Exercise, you'll see in a second. Exercise regularly. I had a physical therapist one time ask me how far I run. I said to the refrigerator and back. I cracked myself up. So we want to exercise regularly. We want to be able to get rid of that tension in a way that helps us release, right? When we wear our body out, it helps wear out the stress as well. Eat a healthy diet. I don't know if that includes McDonald's or not, but eat a healthy diet. When I put good things in me, I tend to feel better. Reduce caffeine and sugar. Yeah, that's not happening either. But these are healthy lifestyle choices. A lot of us do that. We can take control of our lifestyle. We can do things that better us, that are more beneficial for our mind, body, and spirit, right? Avoid alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. Okay, like I said, I'm still smoking cigarettes, so that's not a good thing. Get enough sleep is another important part of a healthy lifestyle. Being able to being able to rest is critical, isn't it? Being able to take care of ourselves and relax to the point where we get enough sleep every day. And it depends on us how much sleep we need, right? Some people need 4 hours, some people need 12. Take care of yourself in that aspect. Let's see. There's also a way we can pick up on patterns, a stress journal, where I track what's stressing me out, right? I want to look at what causes the stress. Is it a person? Is it a place I go? Is it a thing I've got to do? What is the thing that stresses me? If I can identify that, I can begin to avoid it. How I feel both physically and emotionally, I want to put down in my stress journal. How have I changed as a result of this stress? How have I changed physically? That pound cake that changes us. It shifts our body, our mind, our spirit. So when we identify how we physically felt, my stomach tightened up. I got nauseous. My shoulders really hurt. When I identify that, I can pick up on those clues, right? If I learn how my body reacts, if I learn about my emotions, if I can write them down and keep track of what is jerking my nerves. How we acted in response to that stressor is a big one. What did we do? What did we do? What did we do as a result? Was it something that was beneficial? Was it something that wasn't beneficial? Was it something that hurt me? Was it something that the consequences were so high that it just worked for me? Or in this situation, in this particular situation, I did really good. I went for a run, right? I talked to my friends. I did something that made me feel better, that was more beneficial for me. All right, the last one is what you did to make yourself feel better. Write that out too. What did you do that worked? What did you do that made you feel better? Right? When I identify that, those are those coping skills I want. Those are those coping skills that I need to have. Those positive ones that I need to have, right? The future depends on what we do in the present. What happens in my future, what I'm worried about, is affected directly by what I'm doing today. Remember the disease causation. If I continue to be stressed out, I'm going to have physical problems, mental issues, emotional issues. These are things that I can avoid to a certain extent by altering, right? By, let me get the 4A's again. Changing the situation. The external is avoid the stressor. Avoid it as much as possible. Those people, those discussions, those things. If you can avoid it, avoid it. And then alter it, shift it, change it. If you don't have all the information, if you don't have all the facts, make up a story. That person was the doctor going to deliver the baby. I don't know, but I can alter that stressor. The change in our reaction, the internal is adapt and accept. Adapt and accept. We do have power today. Allison says, my top 3 of benefit, and I notice the most: sleep, morning sun, and impact cardio. Nice. I like the morning sun too. It helps us physically with vitamin D. But it also calms me. It feeds me, right? In regard to stress, I don't want to feed that stress. I don't want to feed that procrastination, that worry, all those things that cause me to be stressed out, to have tension in my world. I want to be able to keep my power. I want to be able to take control of the stress in my life. Some of it we can control, right? Some of it we have to accept. So, all right. Let's see, Tanisha, I've learned certain times of the year are stressful during the anniversary of my trauma. So I try to create new memories and do something for myself during that time. You guys are awesome. I so appreciate that because our body reacts. Even if we don't remember in our thinking, our body remembers trauma. And those anniversaries can be difficult. So plan. You know me, I love a plan. If I plan for the stressor, I'm more likely to be able to avoid it, alter it, or accept it. I keep forgetting one. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited about this. Avoid, alter, adapt, or accept. Remember these things when you're in a stressful situation. Remember these things when you know you're going in to a stressful situation. We do have some power. I want to give you the information about the warm line again, because that can definitely help us when it comes to stress. Talking to someone. Again, our warm line is 24/7, holidays, all the time. Call and we'll be there. The number is 833-390-7728. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's class. I really appreciated all the input from everybody. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting me, guys. All right. Let's see. Keep peace, share love.